It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Okay.
Welcome back. It's a Monday morning. We are live, large and in charge. Thanks for starting the week off with us. And you know, right about this time, we start getting into our relationship chat with our expert, Dr. Eve. Oh, Agony
It's
Aunt.
like reshuffling plans.
Are we renaming things now? Agony Aunt.
I know, an Agony Aunt. I've been an Agony Aunt for like 25 years.
Yeah. All right. So our focus today, we talk about the fact that it gives great comfort and relief when you're able to speak to friends or loved ones about certain problems that you may have. But
That's right.
there comes a time when you need to choose what you share, with whom you share it, because it could present a problem to your relationship.
That's right. So our question this morning for you is it okay to talk to a third party when you have problems with your partner or a mutual friend? And when is the time not to do so? We have Dr. Eve in the house and our number is also open. Our lines are open. It's 021-430-9881. Dr. Eve.
Hello.
Very interesting topic.
Yes.
What do the
Because calls
polls
talk about
say?
everything.
What do the polls say?
What do the polls say?
Let's
Because
have a look and
you
see.
usually
I
start
did.
off with a poll
Right.
where you start the conversation there. So what do most people say?
So the question that I asked is, what intimate relationship information do you share with your friends or your family? And I gave 3 choices, and I actually made a mistake. I left one out. So the choices I gave were, do you share your infidelity pain, your conflict, or money matters?
And what's the one that you left out?
The one is nothing.
Nothing.
Oh,
Yeah.
Some
I should
people
have
do
said nothing.
share nothing.
Yeah,
And what do
Teresa
most
said
people say
nothing.
they share?
So most people, 46% are sharing conflict, 35% share infidelity, and 19% are sharing money. I just want to say to viewers, you can join in the poll right now. We're going to keep looking at it. If you get onto my Twitter feed, you'll be able to do that. So that's kind of interesting that money seems to be the more personal thing. I think let's just kind of start out with looking at the benefits, the pros and cons of actually sharing, and what should one be sharing, if at all.
Yeah.
Why do we share? Because we do have a need to be able to let the explosion out of your heart. It's like really hard to carry all of that pain. I work a lot with trying to teach people how to contain the pain and to endure the pain without having to vomit it all out to somebody, because that can really be quite destructive to you and to your relationship. Why do I say it can be destructive to be sharing all of your pain? It's because you're going to only get, the person who's receiving it is going to only get one side of the story. Also, they may be very skewed in their approach. They also may be quite harmful to what information they're going to be sharing with you, advice they're going to be giving you, because it may be quite self-serving. Like, for example, you could have a friend and you could say, I'm really having trouble with my boyfriend, and going into the details about that. And they may actually like the fact that you're having problems because they get to have more time with you, or they may fancy your boyfriend or your girlfriend. So you're not going to get a really scientific or a really neutral approach to that. And also, you put that person into a third wheel situation. They're right in the middle and they have to make choices, which is very unfair to that person who you're sharing with. So I don't think it's always a good idea to be sharing all your stuff. There are certain times you do have to share. You really do have to share. And of course, that is when there is abuse or there's violence happening in your relationship. You must share. You must let somebody know, I am in trouble in my relationship. I do want us to talk about who do we share with and who do we not share with. And the thing, we're going to come back to that, because that's like a strong point.
We certainly are.
Thank you.
Certainly a strong one. Well, Dr. Eve is with us. If you've got a comment or a question, our lines are open. It's 021-430-9881. We'll see you in just a bit.
Inspiring work done by South Africans to build the South Africa that we all want to live in. Well done to the team out there. Now we're back again on the couch, of course, with Dr. Eve. Relationship talk on a Monday. We're talking about talking to other people outside of your relationship, and this is relationship or friendship, about the problems you're experiencing. 021-430-9881. We have a caller on the line. Good morning.
Good morning.
Is this Clive?
Yes, good morning, Expresso team.
Hi,
Clive. Great to have you on the line. What's your question or comment?
My comment is, Dr. Eve says, it's good that somebody, when they are having problems in the relationship, that they speak to somebody about it, just in case something really bad happens. You know, and then the others are informed. But it's also very dangerous for women to speak to a man when they have problems in the relationship, because the man will take advantage of that, especially if he's got some hearts for that woman. And they will take full advantage of that.
Yeah. I think a very, very valid point that you made there, and Dr. Eve earlier on did.
And that goes for both the man and the woman.
Absolutely. Okay. So I guess just highlighting there, Dr. Eve, that
Yeah.
you've got to be careful who you
speak to.
choose to share it with, and to ensure that that person carries the interests of your relationship at heart and doesn't have any ulterior motives.
Yeah, yeah. And so you really want to choose, be choiceful of who you're going to be sharing it with.
Yeah.
And when you're in pain, you're very vulnerable.
Yeah.
And so you turn to whoever is around, and it may be people who are inappropriate. The most inappropriate people that you can turn to are your children. And I really, really want to be clear with viewers around that, and love to invite you, if you're struggling with that, to call in. I'm the agony aunt today, so call in and let's talk about that stuff.
And you can stay anonymous, yes.
Yeah, you can, because that is really the most dangerous. What Clive said, use the word dangerous, I agree with him. To turn to your children and to start moaning to them or sharing with them what's going on, either with their parent or with their step-parent or with a man or woman that you happen to be dating. You really don't want to include your children in your own personal difficulties that you're having in your relationship. That is really harmful to children.
Yeah.
And it's very seductive to do that because children are around a lot.
And they're very receptive.
They are. They're also very aware of what's going on. So they may even say, hey, you know, mommy, daddy, what's going on? And we can see that you know, why are you crying? Please, just
Don't do that.
Just respect your children's right to not be involved in that kind of stuff.
Okay. Now, Dr. Eve, who is a good person, or who is someone you can confide in? Who's on that list?
He's on the list. A therapist, a counsellor.
A therapist, a counsellor.
Call SADAC, which is South African Depression and Anxiety Society. People need to talk. There is no doubt about that.
Yeah.
And people need to be talking to somebody who's neutral, who's really you're going to feel, because when you're in a professional relationship with somebody, you want to feel this person is with me. This person is really only interested in me. And if you talk to a family or friend, you know that they've got divisive interests, really, because they should be interested in both of you. And then, as you know, when we go through conflict or even infidelity, we know that there is healing that happens between you and a partner. And then you, as the family or the friends, you're left with the situation of watching this healing happening. And now you've got this information that you didn't really ask for, but you've got a slanted view of the other partner. And so how do you now relate to the other partner who's hurt your friend or has hurt your child? You now got to have a neutral relationship with this person, which is kind of an unfair situation to be placing family or friends in.
Yeah.
So I think you really want to be very careful, and at a certain point when you've done some healing and self-reflecting, that's a time to turn to a friend and say, you know, I really need to talk.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, we're going to keep our lines open.
Yes.
0214309881. And when we come back, I want to ask Dr. Eve about when you do find that ideal person to share with, the person who is objective in their viewpoint, how do you go about sharing the right kind of information so that your viewpoint isn't skewed and you're just talking negatively about the person that you're complaining about or whatever that may be? But in the meantime, give us a call. We'll be right back.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. It's Expresso. It's Monday morning and it's time for Dr. Eve to share her wisdom with us as we continue our conversation around involving a third party if you're having a problem with your partner or a mutual friend, and who not to talk to, because it's natural for all of us to want to talk. But if you want to talk to us, our lines are open. It's 021-430-9881. We have the Agony aunt with us. You can stay anonymous, but you know what? This is a very important conversation to have.
Yeah.
Because people do need, I repeat, people do need to have somewhere to go to. People also write, and that's, you know, kind of where online comes into it as well, where you can online talk to a total stranger and share with them things that are really important to you until your partner finds out and then accuses you of cyber infidelity.
Yeah.
But that's part of the healing of the online world, is that you're talking, you're expressing, but you don't really care or know who the person is. So it's kind of low risk.
Just before I touch on the question that I said I was going to pose before the break, what are the dangers of not talking?
Yeah, that's a great question as well. It causes, I mean, long term, you build up and you build up and you build up with what I call you bottle. And then there's depression that can happen. There's a huge amount of anxiety, and then you're not able to really function in the world. People need to talk and to be sharing their emotions. I mean, that's why I'm a therapist, Catrice, because I recognize the value, the importance of people having a safe, neutral, what you were saying just now, Zoe, neutral, non-judgmental space to come into a therapy room where you can just be held and contained. And it's always like interesting for me because sometimes people will come into a first session with me and I will just be silent for the entire hour because this person just needs to be able to talk. And they'll walk out and they'll say, I feel so much better. Thank you so much. It's like, I've just held this space, which is just such an important space to hold. People have a right to that. And that's why there are organizations like SADC, like FAMSA, which offer free counseling for people who need to be able to talk, because you don't want to sully your relationship by having to go to family and friends who, as I say, may give you wrong advice and be very skewed in their approach.
Well, Dr. Eve, I want to know from you, before we unpack this a little bit more, when you're ready to talk or share with someone, whether it's a therapist, like you said, online writing is a great way, what is the conversation you need to have with yourself first? What do you need to say to yourself first before you share it with everyone else?
Well, that's a great thing. First of all, to give yourself permission to feel that I am in pain. And where do we go to? Is to our gut. That's where the inflammation happens. That's where your pain sits. And you want to recognize that I am in pain. Because a lot of people dismiss that and just become, work harder, go to gym, take drugs, take alcohol, diminish the pain through destructive means instead of being able to talk to somebody about it. So it's very bad for you just to keep things bottled in. You get sick, you get physically ill, Zoe, if you do not actually become vulnerable and express yourself to somebody who you feel safe with. And that's the effective word, is who do I feel safe with? The most, the person that you should be talking to is your partner. It's directly with your partner. Be able to have a healthy relationship where you can say, whatever you just said to me really hurt me. And be able to have an adult response. And I have a great partner who does that. To be able to have that conversation with your partner, that you don't need to rely on external people to be able to share that stuff with, which is it's not a comforting experience for you, because you do feel once you have shared, my God, maybe I was disloyal to my partner, that didn't really ultimately give me the soothing that I require. I want it from my partner. And so that's what I hope that people will be able to do ultimately, is to be able to talk with each other.
And obviously that's the ideal that you were sketching there. So if you do find yourself sharing, whether it was with a therapist or it's with a family member or a friend, how do you relate that message over in an objective, truthful, honest way so that you get the right kind of advice?
That's a difficult one, Kat, because it comes back to self-soothing and timing. If you are so emotionally heated up and you're just going to pick up the phone and say, Ma, this is what just happened here, he called me this, or she did this to me, or she's not good to the children, or whatever there is, there's going to be an emotionality which is going to diminish. And then you're going to get rational and say, can you phone your mother back and say, actually, it wasn't so bad, because the mother's now inflamed and the mother now wants to just take on your partner and beat him or her up. So you really need to take time and calm yourself down, which is why journaling really helps. Calling up a helpline like SADC or like FAMSA helps, just to take that initial emotionality away. So when you do talk to a parent or you do talk to a friend, there is more factual information that you're giving. But you want to do that because you just want to be heard. You want to be heard by somebody. But there's some information you should never share, Kat. Never, ever share.
Like
what goes on in your bedroom. You shouldn't be sharing about that. You really shouldn't. You shouldn't be sharing your online sex messages or sharing images of your naked partner.
No.
You just shouldn't be doing that. You shouldn't be sharing their personal stuff either. You shouldn't be sharing their money situation, their job situation, confidences that they've given specifically to you. You really want to be cautious about what you share when you're inflamed.
All right. Well, we have details for you on the screen, the SADC number, should you have a need to call it. It's 0800 12 13 14. Save that number somewhere on your phone somewhere.
Absolutely.
Speed dial. It's really one of those important numbers that you need to have with you. And thank you very much, Dr. Eve. We hope that you found the conversation enlightening. We'll do this again next week. Thanks, babe.